For those of you that thought that Destruction All-Stars wasn't a good enough offering, I think Sony has really sweetened the pot with February's PlayStation Plus freebies. These games are quite good, if I say so myself. At the end of the day, there are going to be some people that either own the games or these games just don't appeal to them. However, objectively speaking, I think this month is quite good. So without further ado, right off the top, let's give you guys the 3 games and then we'll talk about it. Destruction All-Stars will be available for PlayStation 5 owners only, so that game is a PS5 exclusive, not on the PlayStation 4. But if you're on the PlayStation 4, you can enjoy Concrete Genie, which is a fantastic game. That was a budget title, however, it was a really good one. And then on top of that, you also get Control Ultimate Edition. That'll be available on PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4. Awesome offering there, because that is Control, the base game, and the DLC content as well. And then if you're on the PlayStation 5, you get to enjoy it in its upgraded form. Lot to unpack here, so let's start off with Control Ultimate Edition, which I do think is an absolutely fantastic offering. Now, when this game was originally announced, and it was announced that Control would be getting a PlayStation 5 version, I was super upset because owners of the original Control were not getting a free upgrade. You had to have the Ultimate Edition. While I don't think it being a part of Plus remedies that situation, no pun intended, but I do think it makes it a little bit more not acceptable, so to speak. I guess it does soften the blow a little bit, because if you're a Plus subscriber, you're getting this along with your Plus games for the month. Now, controversy aside with the upgrade path and things of that nature, what makes Control so good? Well, this was a game done by Remedy Entertainment. They also brought you Alan Wake, which was an excellent game, and Quantum Break, which I didn't like as much as Alan Wake, but a pretty good title as well. Control, in my opinion, is their best game yet, just because it excels from a story standpoint. It's got that eerie Remedy storyline that you know and love if you did play those aforementioned games. However, from a gameplay standpoint, it absolutely excels. I think from a gameplay presentation standpoint, I think this is the best Remedy title that they've put out, because the gameplay is super, super enjoyable. A little bit arcadey, but very, very action-oriented. Some great puzzles, some good platforming sequences as well. I think it just offers a lot of variety in its content as well. And again, the story's interesting. The DLC content is quite cool as well. A little bit of a throwback there if you do check that out. I think there's a lot to like. And bear in mind, Control Ultimate Edition for PlayStation 5, that was coming out in like February, I believe February 5th, so you're getting this with your Plus collection. I think this is an excellent addition, unless you already bought Control Ultimate Edition, because I believe it already came out on the PlayStation 4. Yeah, that's a little bit of a bummer that last minute they hit you with, oh, Control Ultimate Edition is going to be a Plus freebie. Nevertheless, I think it is a great addition, and I think if you never played Control, and I think a lot of people, this was one of those games that they missed out on, just because I do believe it came out around the time I believe a lot of other games did, maybe just before the holiday season. I think it came out August of 2019, so yeah, you're heading into September, October, November, which are traditionally the heavy hitter months for new game releases. If you never checked out Control, this would be a great way to play it. And again, PlayStation 5 upgrades, you're going to be able to play it with high frame rates, better visuals, all that good stuff, because I played Control on PC, and the game looked fantastic. On PlayStation 4, maybe it lagged behind a little bit, but on the PlayStation 5, those handcuffs are really going to come off, at least to the best of its possibilities. So I think this is a great inclusion. Concrete Genie, on the other hand, so this is a PlayStation 4 title. It is obviously also playable on the PlayStation 5. Concrete Genie is a really good title. I'm looking up its Metacritic score because I believe it did relatively well on that, and now it was released at a $30 budget price point, so maybe from a value standpoint, you could be like, okay, not the most value-centric game in the world, but it still goes for like 10-15 bucks even when it's on sale. 75 on Metacritic. It was developed by Pixel Opus. And it's a pretty charming game with great visuals that literally anybody can play, whether it be, you know, you're playing it with a kid, you're playing it with a younger sibling, whatever the case may be, or even if you're an adult, you can enjoy this game as well. So definitely do check it out. It has some cool implementations of the DualShock 4 controller, and yeah, another title that a lot of people probably missed out on just because, you know, it came out as a budget title. I don't think it got a lot of buzz in the world, but it did do relatively well. I think it did, you know, end up being profitable. And that's all you can really ask for. And by the way, Pixel Opus also did do Entwined all those years ago, which was a pretty cool little game on top of that. And then lastly, to round the lineup up, you got Destruction All-Stars. Destruction All-Stars was a game that was scheduled to be a PlayStation 5 launch title for $69.99. Yes, this was going to be a $70 game. Sony obviously made the right call in pulling that back, delaying the game, realizing, hey, not a lot of people are probably going to pay $70 for it, and they decided to make a game that you get with PlayStation Plus. It will be available for 2 months, and this is a multiplayer-centric title. Now, it does have a single-player component as well, but the longevity of this game is going to lie in its multiplayer aspect. And if it was a $70 game, not a lot of people probably would have ended up picking it up, and then I could see in 3 to 6 months it being a game that's relatively dead online. Now you're giving it the best opportunity possible for it to really explode. I'm not saying it's going to become a Fall Guys, I'm not saying it's going to become a Rocket League, but best case scenario, that's what it will become. And this is a vehicular action combat game, but it also has an element of parkour action gameplay where you're just your character. 16 different characters, all very unique. Now this is a very cartoony, very zany, very off-the-wall game. I wouldn't expect a mature, gritty storyline here or anything of that nature, but definitely, from what I can tell, a lot of people are drawing resemblances to something like Twisted Metal, and yeah, if they went down the nostalgic rabbit hole of bringing back Twisted Metal, that probably would have done better from a commercial standpoint. But there's two things to look at. Would you rather rely on the past, or do you want to create new IPs? I don't know if Destruction All-Stars is going to resonate at the level of, say, a Twisted Metal. That is a tall order, but it is a brand new IP being done by a studio that doesn't have a ton of buzz right now, so this is an opportunity for this to become their coming out party. By the way, it's done by Lucid Games. They worked on a couple of titles, like they co-developed Need for Speed Payback with Ghost Games. They worked on Geometry Wars 3 Dimensions, did a lot of porting work and things of that nature, but as far as a big budget title, it looks like Destruction All-Stars will be their very first one. This one is due out February 2nd, so be on the lookout for that, and best of all, you're not going to have to pay $70. I think if they stuck with that launch title and it being $70, it would have just been a train wreck. Yes, people are desperate to get games as a part of the PS5's launch. $70 is just going to be a tall task for any game this generation. People will part with that kind of money for a Demon's Souls remake. Destruction All-Stars, an unproven IP by a new studio. I just don't know if they were going to pay $70 for that. Maybe they would have. Maybe it would have been best if they launched that in November 2020, but I do think Sony made the best decision possible. And what do you end up with? You end up with a phenomenal February 2020 lineup for 2021, I should say, of PlayStation Plus titles. At the end of the day, I think we can all agree that online gameplay should be free. There's no reason we should have to pay a subscription service fee. But hey, if we are, let's at least make the free games, quote-unquote, game rentals, quote-unquote, as good as possible, and I think with February, they've done a pretty good job. Honestly, since the launch of the PlayStation 5, with months including games like Greedfall, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Maneater, I think it's all been relatively good, and I think February offers a pretty great lineup of games with Control Ultimate Edition, Concrete Genie, and Destruction All-Stars. A pretty variety lineup as well. You got a multiplayer, action-oriented title, you got Control, nuanced story with its DLC content upgraded for PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4, and Concrete Genie, a game that's catering towards any age group, so I think this month is quite good. Maybe you guys disagree, that's where the comment sections come in. Sound off with all of your thoughts, really curious to hear what you guys think, but I do think February is a quality month, all things considered. That's going to wrap up this one. If you have a request for a future video, leave that in the comments as well. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.